Before you watch, please subscribe to WWE Express and ring the notification bell for the deepest wrestling analysis on YouTube. We just witnessed one of the most shocking angles in modern WWE storytelling, and the consequences are about to reshape Smackdown's entire power structure. Jacob Fatu arrested, Drew McIntyre hospitalized, and the Bloodline's vengeance finally reaching its boiling point in a way that will have massive implications for WrestleMania season. Let me break down how we got here, why this arrest angle works brilliantly for WWE storytelling, and what it means for the next chapter of this absolutely gripping rivalry. For weeks, the tension between Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre has been building with surgical precision. This isn't just about two strong guys having a disagreement. This is about legacy, respect, and the violent reimagining of what it means to be a dominant force in WWE. Drew came in with his claymore and his reputation as a main event destroyer. Jacob came in as the newest, most vicious member of a faction that has literally redefined what dominance looks like in the modern era. Their collision was inevitable, and when it happened, it was explosive. But here's what makes this angle so compelling from a narrative perspective. Jacob Fatu isn't a character who simply forgets when he's been disrespected. The Bloodline, by design, operates on a code of honor that values retribution. When Drew attacked Jacob backstage, he wasn't just winning a fight. He was insulting an entire philosophy. He was suggesting that his seniority, his pedigree as a former main event player, gave him the right to put down someone he viewed as younger, less established, less worthy. That's the psychology that WWE has been quietly building with Jacob's character. He's the hungriest guy on the roster. He's the one who has something to prove not just to the audience, but to himself. And more than that, he's proven night after night that he's capable of the kind of physical dominance that only comes with genuine anger. So when Drew attacked him backstage, Jacob's response wasn't going to be measured or political. It was going to be instinctive, violent, and completely aligned with everything his character represents. The backstage attack that leads to Jacob's arrest is where WWE's creative team has made a brilliant booking decision. By having Jacob's retaliation be so fierce, so uncontrolled, that it results in actual law enforcement involvement, WWE is doing something that elevates the storyline far beyond a typical wrestling rivalry. They're making it feel real. They're making it matter in a way that transcends the squared circle. Think about the psychology here. Jacob Fatu willing to get arrested, willing to have his freedom to compete, potentially jeopardized because his need for revenge outweighs his basic self-preservation. That's not a character weakness. That's the mark of someone who is genuinely dangerous and genuinely driven by something deeper than just winning matches. That's a character trait that makes someone a main event player. And let's talk about what this does for Drew. Drew McIntyre got what he wanted. He put Jacob down. He proved his superiority in a backstage altercation. But now he's hospitalized. Now he's hurt. Now the wrestling universe is questioning whether his attack on Jacob was really about dominance or whether it was about fear. Was Drew threatened enough by Jacob's rise that he felt compelled to strike first? Was that claymore as much about self-preservation as it was about ego? These are the kinds of character questions that WWE should be asking, and this arrest angle forces the audience to sit with them. From a booking perspective, the arrest angle also creates incredible opportunities. It keeps Jacob out of competition temporarily, which builds anticipation. It keeps Drew in a position of vulnerability where he can't just immediately capitalize on what he did. And it sets up a scenario where, when Jacob returns, he's going to have even more narrative momentum. He sacrificed his freedom for revenge. He took the consequences. And now there's going to be a reckoning that feels earned and meaningful. The Bloodline connection here is also crucial. Because this isn't just about Jacob as an individual. This is about how the Bloodline reacts to one of their own being arrested. Does the faction escalate? Do other members step in to provide protection or retaliation? Does this become the catalyst for something even bigger at the championship level? WWE has the opportunity to use this arrest as the emotional and narrative fulcrum that transforms this from a mid-card rivalry into something that touches the main event picture. And here's the thing about arrest angles in wrestling that makes them work when they're done right. They create a clock. They create urgency. Fans want to know when Jacob gets out. They want to know what the consequences are. They want to see how this impacts his career, his standing in the Bloodline, his ability to continue competing at the level he's demonstrated he can compete at. That narrative urgency is gold for creative because it keeps people invested between television episodes. It gives people a reason to show up on next week's Smackdown. The storytelling here is also sophisticated because it avoids the trap of making Jacob look stupid or weak. He's not getting arrested because he made a tactical error. He's getting arrested because his character is defined by his willingness to cross lines that other wrestlers won't cross. That's actually a strength in the character development. It explains why he's so dangerous. It explains why he's been elevated so quickly. It explains why, when he eventually returns and gets his hands on Drew again, the stakes will feel genuinely significant. From a writing perspective, WWE is also setting up potential long-term storytelling. Is Jacob going to get cleared to compete? Is he going to face a suspension? Is the Bloodline going to use their influence to protect him? Are there going to be legal consequences that follow him into his career? These are the kinds of complications that real sports don't typically have to deal with, but wrestling absolutely can explore them, and it can make them meaningful. The Drew side of this also has unexplored depth. Drew got what he wanted, but now he's dealing with the fallout. Is he going to feel responsible for what happened to Jacob? Is he going to feel victorious? Is he going to realize that escalating this conflict to the point of arrest might have created an enemy far more dangerous than the one he tried to put down? The next time these two meet, assuming Jacob ever gets cleared to compete again, that first encounter is going to be absolutely loaded with narrative weight and emotional stakes. This arrest angle is the kind of bold storytelling choice that separates interesting wrestling television from the kind of wrestling television that people actively remember and actively care about. It takes a conventional rivalry and gives it real teeth. It makes viewers believe that there are actual consequences to what happens on Smackdown. It suggests that the WWE Universe operates by rules that matter, that actions carry weight, and that not every dispute gets resolved cleanly on a wrestling mat. That's the foundation of great wrestling storytelling right there. Make sure you're subscribed to WWE Express for more deep dives into the psychology and narrative construction that makes wrestling the greatest storytelling medium in entertainment. We break down every angle, every booking decision, and every character moment so you can appreciate wrestling at the level that it deserves to be appreciated. Hit that subscribe button now and join the conversation about what WWE Express is doing with its most compelling angles.